This is Malaysia's capital city Kuala Lumpur, bustling modern city of contrast, a perfect backdrop for an exciting urban adventure race. For the first time ever in Malaysia, AXN will transform Kuala Lumpur into a giant adventure playground. The Malaysia AXN Challenge is one of the AXN series of urban adventure races across Asia. Teams of 3 in men's, women's or mixed categories will have to run, bike, climb, kayak and face various physically and mentally challenging mystery tests. Nearly 40 kilometers of grueling effort. Just getting to the finish line will require physical endurance, mental resilience and teamwork. Winning will demand something more. "51 teams from Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines and Thailand gather at the Kuala Lumpur city centre for the start of the Malaysia AXN Challenge. The AXN Carnival with games, booths and a concert has been organised for families, friends and spectators.
Thailand, go!
And as they enjoy such carefree fun, competitors prepare for the tough contest ahead, some more seriously than others.
Hopefully can complete the race and get a good placing.
Good luck, Mom. Yeah, you'll be making the boys work.
I'm not coordinated, I'm not practicing.
Problem is, I don't think we know KL that well.
Hey, ready to go, Buzz team!
My challenge for this race course was how to make it interesting enough and challenging enough for participants and also for spectators. I also wanted to showcase the whole variety of elements that make up Kuala Lumpur.
We're extremely proud that so many of you have come forward to be role models for the rest of Malaysia by leading active, healthy AXN lifestyles and really showing the true Malaysia Boleh spirit even during these challenging times.
At 1 p.m. sharp, the Mayor of Kuala Lumpur flagged off the race and teams began the punishing 8-hour course with a sprint through the KLCC Park.
Sports events is one of the matters that we make into a focus, so that it is a city not only interesting to stay in, to live in, but also to work and play.
The race starts with a sprint through KLCC Park followed by 4 km of map orienteering. Next will come a mystery test at the Heritage Trust building. Then the competitors will move to Bukit Nanas, a forest reserve in the heart of the city, for a compass navigation section.
I thought we're here on vacation!
This is the embassy area where teams have to orienteer to various addresses. They're given a map and a series of questions about those addresses. It's almost like a treasure hunt, but much more physically challenging, of course. For example, how many teeth does that lion have? And who is that guy in that picture?
I.
Yeah.
Gaddafi. Muhammad Gaddafi.
It's easy for some local teams and extra challenging for international ones.
We don't know where the hell to go!
Is this number 6? It is the number 6.
This one checkpoint number 4.
Okay, go.
Tengok map tu bagaimana?
Embassy Singapore.
Leah Elizabeth Yeo of Team Emirates Eco Wizards is one of Malaysia's top triathletes. As captain of her team, she has been the winner in the mixed team category of almost every adventure race in the country.
I think our team is strong in land sport as well as kayaking, and I think we'll do our best this race.
At age 41, Leah will be competing against her 20-year-old daughter, Daphne Amelia Yeo, who is participating in her very first race with mixed team Hippopotamus.
I don't think about it as competing against my mom. It's more like competing alongside my mom. And because I'm not experienced like my mom is, so just I ask her lots of questions and get lots of advice from her.
In the men's category, Team Coca-Cola Pegasus regular winners on the Malaysia's adventure racing circuit is the hot favourite. Masters in the natural jungle, can they hack it in the urban one?
Orang yang dah biasa ni macam KL orang tetap dia dah tahu okey KLCC di sebelah sini. Terus saja kita nak kena fikir dulu, tengok map dulu.
In the women's category, the competition is intense between Malaysia's Team Curry Puff Girls, sponsored by Kembara, and Singapore's Team Kampung Chicks. Both teams are among the first to finish the orienteering section and are neck and neck as they head off to the next checkpoint. At the Heritage Trust building, teams are given a blowpipe and only 3 darts with which to burst a balloon. Kampung Chicks make short work of the test and leave in second place overall. If teams cannot burst the balloon with the 3 darts given, they must do 10 push-ups to earn another 3 darts. Team AXN Buzz finds out that where blowpipes are concerned, they kinda suck.
3, 4.
At age 60, Patsy Yup has competed in the Ironman Triathlon, but this is her first time in an adventure race.
Okay.
I've never done it before, you know, and it's good to experience it. And I'm not looking for a prize. Non-ranking is just fine.
From the Heritage Trust, teams hit a hot 4-kilometer run in the midday sun to Bukit Nanas Forest Reserve, a small piece of shady primary forest right in the heart of the city, where they will have to complete a 2-kilometer compass navigation section.
I have no idea how to find bearings.
Coming up, teams cross the Klang River and go up and down Kuala Lumpur's historical building. The competition between the girls' team starts heating up.
We have to catch up with that girl.
Teams are now in the Bukit Nanas Forest Reserve right in the heart of Kuala Lumpur.
Trying to stay ahead of the other team.
It provides an ideal navigational test for teams in the AXN Challenge. Teams get confused and find themselves in trouble.
Sorry guys, wrong way.
They have to follow compass bearings to find markers at various points throughout the forest.
We got lost at both navigation points, both the map reading one as well as this compass one. Yeah, so we kind of slid back a little bit.
Kampung Chicks, until now the leaders in the women's category, make several serious errors, letting 10 teams overtake them, including 2 in the women's category.
1 to 7.
Yeah, I know. Just take the 10-minute penalty on this one. If we backtrack and go and find it, we won't find it. I don't think we'll find it in 10 minutes.
Team Bantai, meanwhile, sees the overall lead.
Having it in the city is something different. It's very different. We've never had a race in the city before. So it's very exciting to know that you're going to run around the city.
Never having raced together before, Team Bantai is an unknown quantity, but so far they're having their dream race. The question is, can they keep up the pace? During the next section of the race, teams will run to KL Tower for a watery mystery test. This is KL Tower, one of the city's most famous landmarks and the world's 4th highest telecommunications tower. It makes a dramatic backdrop for another mystery test. Teams get a plastic pipe measuring 2.2 meters with a ping pong ball in it. They have to pour water into the pipe until the ball floats out. The challenge is there are 12 holes to be plugged up before the ball can float up. Of course, to do that, teams will have to plug those holes somehow, and they haven't got much to work with, just their brains, bibs and body parts.
I think we got it. Coming. There we go.
Yes, alright. Okay, you have to go over. Where next?
3 more hot and draining kilometers through one of the oldest and busiest parts of the city brings teams to Merdeka Square, where Malaysia's independence was declared in 1957. Once at the square, teams have to reach the world's tallest flagpole at its center. Teams are given a board, 3 lengths of steel piping and a rope. The challenge is to pull on the rope, advancing the pipes as you go while touching nothing more than your hands to the ground.
Okay, what else can go on the floor? That's it, just the hands.
If anything more than hands hit the ground, you try again. Once, twice, 3 strikes and you're out. Kampong Chicks is one of the unlucky teams to suffer the 20-minute penalty.
All the legs. Okay, wait.
Now 14 kilometers into the race, the teams will attack the technical sections of the course with a Tyrolean traverse. Then teams run to the railway headquarters for the ladder and rope ascent. Teams reach the confluence of the Klang and Gombak rivers, the site where Kuala Lumpur was founded. Team Bantai is the first to reach the 40-meter Tyrolean traverse. A full 15 minutes ahead of the next team, they currently have a huge lead for a race of this length. The next teams arrive in a pack and all the available lines are filled in the rush.
We have to catch up with that girl. But anyway, they have a penny time for 20 minutes.
Cables across the Klang River are anchored to 3 sturdy Kembara cars. One member of each team has to make a Tyrolean traverse to the opposite bank.
Here I go.
They are clipped into a special pulley while the other 2 members pull them across.
We feel that this event is for young people who are energetic, who like to have fun, race, do all kinds of events, which is a will to finish.
Leaving the river behind them, teams make their way to the imposing railway headquarters built in the 19th century as Kuala Lumpur became the transport and industrial hub of the country. For the race, the building has been transformed into a daunting obstacle. One team member has to climb a caving ladder and ascend fixed ropes to the top floor, where they tag off to another team member who abseils 4 exhilarating stories to the ground.
That's high.
You know, other people take tours to see the KTM. We don't want to pay entrance fees, so this is the way to do it.
I did the easy one. Now I'm just sitting down.
3 hours into the race, roughly halfway through the course, teams are starting to get tired. The heat and physical strain are taking their toll and teams must really take care of themselves.
Cramping, it's very bad heat.
Coming up, teams get wet and dirty and tackle more challenges. One challenge proves to be a bit too tough with disastrous results.
It fell my head.
Lead teams have moved on from the railway station, leaving the less adept to struggle with the rope obstacles. Meanwhile, injury and cramps slow down some teams, including Team Curry Puff Girls sponsored by Kembara.
Every single muscle below my waist had cramps. Some one at a time, or like sometimes a few at a time. At one time, all of them went on cramps together.
The next section of the race takes competitors into the Lake Gardens, the city's finest park. From checkpoint 12 to 17, they will face more mystery tests and a canoeing lake. At checkpoint 12 in Lake Gardens, the second half of the course is revealed. Teams receive more instructions and update their maps. However, it's not a lake they confront first, but a muddy pond. Having survived that, one team member must now swim a short distance while keeping a handful of flour dry and then fish themselves out of the water. Then, 2 team members have to paddle a canoe 4 kilometers around the lake. This is followed by the Emirates Challenge, where one team member has to scale a 4-meter wall to pick up a model aeroplane. Teams then pick up their mountain bikes and carry them up the stairs to the Coca-Cola Tuba Try Challenge. Teams have to make a human bridge to get a sip of Coca-Cola. Team Bantai has set a harsh pace coming into Lake Gardens, but at this crucial point, they are dehydrated, cramping up, and now overtaken.
They caught up with us. It's okay, still a long way more.
Getting a bit tired, suffering from a lot of cramps. Just push and see where we get to.
Eventually, the entire field converges on the Lake Gardens. During the canoeing leg, one lucky team member gets some much-needed rest.
Go, and then I'll wait here.
As the first teams are canoeing, the slower teams are still struggling with the logs, not only fighting with the suction of the mud but having to contend with the churned-up mess left by the leaders.
This is disgusting.
That's just gross.
With Leah finishing and Daphne just arriving, mother and daughter are briefly reunited on the canoe jetty.
Oh, so you're not that far ahead.
After giving Daphne some words of encouragement, Leah and her team head off. This is the Emirates Wall Challenge, scaling a 4-meter wall to reach a model airplane.
We are quite honored to be part of the Malaysian AXN Challenge. So being a part of the Malaysia AXN Challenge helps us to promote a healthy lifestyle among the youth.
For Leah and Team Emirates Eco Wizards, this challenge proves to be more difficult than expected. Chan injures his back after falling from the wall, but luckily he's able to continue. The team tries again with a new strategy, but with disastrous results.
You okay? You fell my head.
Leah takes quite a bad hit on her head and she has to be treated by the medic. It's a tense moment for the team and the race director intervenes. Not wanting them to risk serious injury, she offers to let them take a time penalty instead of doing the challenge. But giving up is something these top triathletes just won't consider. Seeing the next team closing in gives them the extra push to finally reach the top. At the Planetarium Negara, teams pick up their bikes and walk up a flight of stairs, only to discover that they have to face the next mystery test. The next mystery test is the Coca-Cola Tuba Try Challenge, a test of strength and teamwork in which teams make a human bridge across the fountain to get a sip of Coca-Cola.
Okay. Okay, well done. Back. Okay.
More than 4 hours into the race, teams are exhausted and they can barely hold themselves up. In the slippery fountain, they are flopping like fish out of water.
We are extremely proud to sponsor the AXN Challenge Reels. Secondly, the AXN Challenge and the theme of actually trying to push yourself to a new level is very consistent with our flagship campaign idea of Tuba Try.
At kilometer 27 of the course, teams hit the mountain biking leg and then run 4 kilometers to the new Hotlink monorail station for the final mystery test before making a 3-kilometer dash to the finish line back at KLCC. It's a close fight in the next stage with Team Emirates Eco Wizards Bantai and Coca-Cola Pegasus starting the biking leg all at the same time. The mountain bike section takes teams through some unexpected terrain and it feels endless when you spend more time carrying that bike than riding it.
Oh, stop. That was crazy.
We went into somebody's toilet.
With the front teams finishing the mountain biking leg in close formation, it'll be a tight race to the finish line. No chance to slack now, though there's more than an hour left of running through the city streets, not to mention one last mystery test at the Hotlink monorail station. Coming up, the race heats up in the men's category. Team Bantai and Coca-Cola Pegasus push themselves to the limit to the finish line. However, there is a price to pay. Teams have been running, climbing, abseiling, swimming, canoeing and biking for the last 4 hours in some of the most spectacular sites in Kuala Lumpur. At the same time, they have had fun and challenges along the way, but it's not yet over. The final mystery test is the Hotlink Brain Teaser. Teams have to choose 3 cards that add up to 142. Most teams now have to slow down and use their brain power, which will be even trickier now that everyone is in a state of near physical exhaustion.
I guess we always represented positive values in our youth. It was something exciting for our users. We wanted to make it available to KL. We wanted something that was a real challenge.
Emirates Eco Wizards make quick work of this one. After recovering from their injuries at the Emirates Wall Challenge, the team sprints all the way to the finish as other teams are hot on their trail. Leah Elizabeth Yeo has proven that she is definitely one of the top athletes in the country, leading her team once again to victory over tough competition from the other teams.
It's a bit different, but it was a great challenge too.
They made us running wildly in the now, you see.
That's a big surprise for me.
Meanwhile, other teams are encountering problems. Coca-Cola Pegasus missed a checkpoint but can't backtrack until they reunite with their missing team member. Their confusion gives Team Bantai the opportunity to overtake them. Despite the odds, this underdog team manages to seize first place in the men's competition.
It's a very good race. We didn't think we'd come this far, but it's a very good feeling. We were about to collapse, and the last few 100 meters was really tough.
Team Coca-Cola Pegasus is disheartened but makes one last push to the finish line, though the efforts cost them dearly.
Saya pun dah berumur, jadi saya terpaksa ikut kerjasama tim, saya terpaksa beri. Kemudian saya pun kurang makan dan saya dah habis tenaga, saya terpaksa ikut. Kemudian kita nak ambil tempat kan, ambil placing, kita terpaksa guna tenaga yang lebih. Itulah sebab dia saya pindah lebih.
As the leaders now rest, other teams are still battling towards the finish line. If teams don't make it to certain checkpoints before cut-off times, they are sent on a shortened route unranked. Team Hippopotamus is determined to avoid such a fate.
I'm worried about making the cut-off point. We only have like 2 minutes or something.
The sun has begun setting, casting dark shadows across the city. The AXN challenge is still not over yet for most teams. In their haste to finish the race, Team Philippines forgets one of the most crucial things, the map.
Stop now. There's a map on the course back. There's a map that you were supposed to get on the course back, the course. There's no map anymore, dude.
But we have to link up with another group from here until the finish line?
Yeah.
No, let's go back and get the map.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's nobody's fault. We just missed it. That's all. Let's go. That's all.
The mountain biking section requires teams to work together, which becomes even tougher in the waning light. Oldest competitor Patsy Yap and her team is determined not to give up.
I'm very fortunate because my two team members are very strong. And if not for them, I wouldn't have finished the race.
It's Saturday night in downtown KL. The trendy night spots are already buzzing with their party crowds as teams in the Malaysia AXN Challenge are still pounding the pavement to the finish line. After more than 7 unrelenting hours of racing, the women's teams are neck to neck. The Curry Puff Girls, sponsored by Kambara, have to tow team member Sharon, who had suffered back cramps all along the race. This gives Team Kampong Chicks an edge as they sprint towards the finish line.
It feels really, really good. It felt really good to see the Twin Towers coming up here and just knowing that it was almost to come to an end.
In their haste to get to the finish line, the Curry Puff Girls take a slight detour, surprising late shoppers.
But one thing about Curry Puff Girl, we never give up.
There's a tremendous atmosphere at the finish line. The air's abuzz with excitement and a sense of achievement.
I hope you had a good time as we adventured through this beautiful city of Kuala Lumpur. We at AXN are committed to giving you the buzz, both on air and on the ground. And this AXN Challenge is part of an adventure series which is designed to give people a real taste of the action-adventure lifestyle that is AXN.
The Malaysia AXN Challenge has certainly given competitors a buzz they'll never forget.
Kami tak pernah jalan kaki kat Kuala Lumpur ni kan. Selalu naik bas, naik taksi, naik kereta. Tapi kami puas lah.
Probably tougher than some of the younger adventure races.
One of the best races, if not the best race. You guys really outdid yourself.
I feel great. It's self-achievement.
I'm very proud of her.
It was a good race, but it suffered.
They did a good work. They should do every year.
In the middle of this bustling city, we discover that adventure is a frame of mind and an attitude we can bring to whatever we do.